Number 15, the monkey on your back. Ever find yourself scrolling through disaster news and feeling a strange magnetic pull towards the worst of it? Plane crashes, natural disasters, horrifying crimes, you know you shouldn't look, but your finger just taps anyway. The disturbing truth? Your brain is hardwired to pay attention to the morbid details, thanks to a primitive threat detection system. Back in the day, when saber-toothed tigers lurked around, keeping an eye on danger could mean life or death. If your ancestors ignored threats, well, they didn't pass on their genes. Today, even though the danger is often thousands of miles away, your brain still reacts to it like it's vital information. It's not that you enjoy the suffering. Your brain is just programmed to view it as potential survival data. Basically, your brain is a hyperactive, overzealous threat detector, logging every disaster as if it might one day save your life. Number 14, the voyeuristic instinct. You've seen it, a car accident or a fender bender on the highway, and what's the first thing you do? Slow down, crane your neck, maybe even snap a pic. You don't even need to help, someone else already has, or traffic is so backed up that you're just idling. So why do you need to see the damage? This is your brain's voyeuristic instinct, a primal need to witness chaos. It's not just morbid curiosity, it's about understanding disruptions in the order of the world. Your brain, usually processing mundane routines, gets jolted by the novelty of a disaster. By watching, you're cataloging potential threats, processing them safely from a distance. It's like a psychological cheat code. Gather information, feel a sense of control over the chaos, and move on without ever having to be in danger. Basically, your brain is a judgmental film critic, reviewing every disaster movie to make sure you don't star in the next one. Number 13, the could-be-worse comfort. Have you ever read about someone else's tragedy, a devastating earthquake, a freak accident, and felt oddly relieved? Not because you're a monster, but because it wasn't you? Welcome to downward social comparison, a sneaky coping mechanism that can make you feel better about your own life by comparing it to others' misfortunes. Your brain instinctively thinks, at least I'm not them. By witnessing others' suffering, your mind finds a way to feel more secure and fortunate, even in the face of life's uncertainties. This comparison doesn't mean you're heartless. It's just your brain's way of regaining balance in a chaotic world. Basically, your brain is a master of dark gratitude, finding comfort in the misery of others to help you feel a little more stable. Number 12, the rubbernecking release. You know that feeling after watching a particularly intense news story or harrowing documentary? You're emotionally drained, yet oddly relieved. That's not just your heart working overtime. It's a psychological release valve. Engaging with disaster news, you're effectively putting yourself through a controlled, simulated threat. You might feel your body tense up, your heart rate speed up, but because you're safe, those primal fear responses don't reach a climax. Instead, your brain gets a chance to release the built-up tension without actual danger. It's like watching a horror movie for the thrill without ever being in the horror. Basically, your brain is an adrenaline junkie, using other people's bad days to give you a safe emotional roller coaster. Number 11, the tribal news network. Ever notice how big news spreads like wildfire? Whether it's a natural disaster, a political scandal, or a celebrity meltdown, it doesn't take long before it's all over your social media feeds, group chats, and dinner table conversations. The truth? This taps into your innate need for social cohesion. Sharing news, particularly about threats, used to be crucial for survival. If your tribe knew a woolly mammoth was coming, everyone had to be informed. Today, that same drive compels you to share news with your group. Discussing disaster headlines isn't just about staying informed. It reinforces your place in the group, solidifies your social status, and gives you a sense of connection. Basically, your brain still craves the ancient tribal updates, except now it's about sharing the latest news headlines, whether it's about a natural disaster or the latest celebrity drama. Number 10, the illusion of control. After reading about a house fire caused by a faulty dryer, what's your first instinct? Probably check your own dryer, right? Or maybe after hearing about a new virus, you suddenly become obsessed with sanitizing everything around you. The disturbing truth is that disaster news fuels your brain's need for control. When presented with specific dangers, your brain jumps into problem-solving mode, trying to figure out how to prevent these things from happening to you. Even though most of these risks are beyond your control, your brain wants to believe that by acknowledging them and adjusting your behavior, you can avoid catastrophe. This gives you a sense of agency in an unpredictable world, even if it's based on nothing more than mental checklists. Basically, your brain is a relentless control freak, and consuming disaster news is its way of compiling a how to avoid death manual, even if the manual is ultimately useless. Number 9, the paradox of doom scrolling. You've been there, scrolling through your phone, eyes glazed over, past disaster after disaster, and suddenly, bam, you're deep into the rabbit hole. A wildfire here, a political scandal there, and before you know it, your thumbs are working overtime, even though you promised yourself you'd stop. The disturbing truth? Doom scrolling isn't just a bad habit, it's a psychological trap. Our brains are wired for vigilance. Back in the day, your survival depended on knowing every detail about potential threats. Is it a lion? How big? Where's it going? So your brain interprets each bit of bad news as vital survival info. The problem is, social media doesn't resolve. It just keeps coming. You don't get the all-clear signal like you would with real threats. This causes your brain to loop endlessly, searching for more details in the hopes of gaining some sense of closure. But it never comes. Basically, doom scrolling turns your ancient survival instincts into a modern-day anxiety treadmill that never lets you step off. Number 8, the empathy amplifier. Ever feel gut-wrenching empathy for someone you've never met? You read about a tragedy, and suddenly you're crying for complete strangers. This isn't weakness, it's your brain's empathy circuits firing on all cylinders. You've got these nifty mirror neurons that allow you to simulate the experiences of others, essentially running a mini simulation of their pain in your mind. This can be incredibly painful, but is also a critical part of human connection. When disaster news shows someone suffering, your brain feels it as if it's happening to you. It makes you care, makes you act, whether that's donating money or hugging a loved one. Basically, your brain is a high-definition empathy projector, and disaster news provides the most compelling emotional cinema, complete with all the feels. Number 7, the thrill of the abyss. You've read about horrific events, plane crashes, wars, famines, and felt a strange pull to keep reading, to stare deeper into the darkness. The disturbing truth is that this is terror management theory at work. Humans, being aware of their own mortality, have a deep-seated discomfort with the idea that life is fragile. We build elaborate mental defenses like worldviews and routines to shield ourselves from the crushing reality that death is inevitable. Disaster news forces us to confront that reality, but from a safe distance. It's someone else's mortality, not ours, which gives us a brief, controlled glimpse into the abyss. It's like exposure therapy for your deepest fear, death. Basically, your brain gets a safe little dose of existential anxiety, making you cling more tightly to life's fragile beauty. Number 6, the confirmation bias catastrophe. Ever notice how, once you start thinking something negative, like how the world is falling apart, you keep finding evidence that confirms it? That's your brain's confirmation bias doing its job. If you're inclined to think things are doomed or chaotic, every new disaster is just more proof that you're right. Your brain is a pattern-matching machine, and it loves finding patterns, especially the negative ones. The more you consume disaster news that aligns with your anxieties, the stronger those biases become. It's like having a mental "I told you so" echo chamber, where every bad headline reaffirms that the world is as dangerous as you think. Basically, your brain is a highly efficient doom predictor, and disaster news is its favorite fuel. Number 5, the cult of the catastrophe. You probably remember exactly where you were when major disasters happened: 9/11, the 2004 tsunami, or the 2011 earthquake in Japan. These events, despite their tragedy, become shared cultural touchstones, uniting people through a collective trauma. Your brain, a lover of stories, grabs onto these catastrophic events because they become part of a shared narrative. When a big event happens, it becomes a reference point for an entire generation, a cultural moment that we all talk about and relate to. It's a way for society to bond over a before and after story. Basically, Your brain creates a mental almanac of monumental events, and a good disaster is always ripe for the top spot in that collective, grimly fascinating record. Number 4. The primal scream's echo. Ever feel a weird jolt of discomfort when hearing about something horrific? That prickling on your skin? That's your fight or flight system getting a workout. The brain's primal alert system doesn't differentiate between a saber-toothed tiger in the bushes and a headline about a serial killer on the loose. Both trigger the same fundamental alert danger response. Engaging with disaster news taps into this ancient vigilance mechanism. It's your brain's way of practicing its threat assessment skills without actually facing a threat. It's a low-cost, simulated drill, helping your brain stay sharp for real dangers, even if they're unlikely to involve a rogue saber-tooth. Basically, your brain is a primal, panic-driven threat detector, and disaster news is the easiest way to keep it on high alert. Number 3. The morbid fascination filter. Not all disaster news hits us the same way. Some people are obsessed with crime documentaries, others with natural disasters or economic collapse. Why? Because your brain has a morbid fascination filter. It's uniquely attuned to certain types of chaos based on personal experience or inherent predisposition. Maybe you grew up hearing about crime or were impacted by a natural disaster. Your brain, always on the lookout for survival information, zooms in on the type of threat it deems most relevant to you. Whether it's the violation of order, crime, unpredictable forces of nature, disasters, or the breakdown of society, economic collapse, your brain processes those things differently. Basically, your brain is a genre-specific horror movie critic, only reviewing the terror that it thinks is most likely to star you. Number 2. The worst-case scenario planner. Ever lie awake at night, planning for worst-case scenarios, fires, pandemics, economic collapse? That's your brain engaging in worst-case scenario planning. When you consume disaster news, your brain gets a blueprint for every possible catastrophe, running through simulations like a hyper-efficient risk management team. What would I do if that happened here, you ask yourself. Even if you don't plan consciously, your brain works behind the scenes, giving you a sense of control over the uncontrollable. This mental exercise is why you check your dryer after hearing about a house fire or sanitize everything after reading about a superbug. Basically, your brain is a worrywart with a crisis management manual, constantly rehearsing for all the possible ways the world could go wrong. Number 1. The hidden purpose of pain. This one's deep. Ever wonder why you can't look away from disaster news? The unsettling truth is that it offers a glimpse into meaning and purpose in a world that often feels mundane. Life is repetitive, and we seek grand narratives to give it depth. Disasters provide that, even in their horror. They force us to confront life, death, morality, and resilience. Reading about tragedy sparks existential contemplation, reminding us of our own vulnerability and the preciousness of life. It strips away the distractions, forcing us to reckon with the mystery of being alive. Disaster news isn't just shock value, it's an existential jolt, reminding us that life, with all its chaos, is fragile and fleeting. Basically, your brain is a philosopher, and disaster news is just the textbook it uses to understand the raw meaning of being human.